Yes or no, Mr. McDonald?
Senator, as I referenced
are you refusing
earlier,
I'm not interested in what you referenced earlier. I'm asking you a simple question right now, not earlier, but right now. Were you part of the weaponization working group at Justice? Yes or no?
A United States senator asked the same question 9 different times and never once got a straight answer. By the time you reach the end of this video, you will understand exactly why that silence was more revealing than any answer could have ever been. Stay with me, because what is actually at stake here goes far deeper than one hearing room.
Mr. McDonald, were you part of the DOJ's weaponization working group?
Senator, as referenced earlier in some questioning during the hearing today, the weaponization working group, as commissioned by the president.
A simple yes or no would do. Were you part of the weaponization working group?
Senator, as I referenced earlier in questions before the panel, the weaponization working group, as commissioned by the president and then the attorney general,
I still haven't gotten an answer. Were you involved with the weaponization working group, yes or no? It's a simple question. You were either involved with it or you weren't.
Senator, as referenced earlier.
Yes or no, Mr. McDonald?
Senator, as I referenced
earlier. I'm not interested in what you referenced earlier. I'm asking you a simple question right now, not earlier, but right now. Were you part of the weaponization working group at Justice, yes or no?
Senator, as I referenced earlier,
okay, you're not going to answer the question. You're not going to answer the question.
Was rightly identified.
I don't know why you won't answer a simple question, but let me ask you a different question. Do you believe that members of the weaponization working group need to abide by the Justice Department manual? Yes or no?
Senator, as a career federal prosecutor,
I'm asking you a simple question.
I am very well familiar with the U.S. Department of Justice manual.
I'm glad you are. Do you feel the manual applies to people in the weaponization working group? Do they have to abide by it? Yes or no?
Senator, as you know,
why is that a difficult question for you to answer? Do you believe that members of the weaponization work group have to abide by ethical practices?
Senator, all Department of Justice employees, every day.
Is that a yes?
Every day.
I'm asking a very specific question, not about all department employees, but about employees in the weaponization working group. Do they have to abide by the Justice Department manual, yes or no?
Senator, all Department of Justice employees.
So that's a yes?
Operate within the provisions of the Justice manual.
Mr. McDonald, is that a yes?
Senator, I would refer you to the answer that I just gave.
Or is the weaponization working group something different? Are you suggesting that it's different, that it doesn't have to abide by the ethics manual, that it doesn't have to abide by ethics at all? Why are you refusing to answer a simple question?
Senator, I'm not refusing to answer your question.
Well, do the members of the working group have to abide by the Justice Department manual?
Senator, as I referenced in my previous answer, all Department of Justice employees.
I'm not interested in your previous answers. You can't answer a simple question, or you won't, which leads me to suspect you believe they don't have to apply, they don't have to live up to the standards of the Justice Manual. So let me ask you a different question. In your time working with this group, did you ever observe any of the other members of the weaponization working group violate the Justice Department manual, yes or no?
Senator, the weaponization working group has been working to illuminate the facts.
I'm not interested in a filibuster of an answer. Did you observe members of the working group, or did you yourself violate the Justice Department manual?
Senator, as referenced in prior answers,
so let me ask you another question.
The weaponization working group has been working.
Did you witness members of the weaponization working group mishandle grand jury material?
Senator, as I referenced earlier,
I'm not interested
the weaponization working group has been working to understand the facts and events underlying significant weaponization of the government during the Biden administration.
Mr. Chairman, I'm asking for a simple question. I would ask your help in getting a direct answer. I've asked the witness whether he believes members of the weaponization working group at the Justice Department need to abide by the Justice Department's own justice manual. Would you assist me in getting an answer to that question?
No, I will not assist you.
Okay. Well, you have the chairman's support in not answering the question, so let me try another question. or let me see if I can get clarity again. Did you ever witness any of the members of the working group violate rules regarding grand jury secrecy? Yes or no?
Senator, as I referenced in my prior testimony, the weaponization working group
You won't
is
answer that
working
question.
diligently to understand the historic abuses and
one last question
weaponization
and
of
see
the
if you're
Department
willing
of Justice
to answer it.
in the Biden
Mr.
administration.
McDonald, did you ever witness anyone in the weaponization working group violate the law? Yes or no?
Senator, I would refer you to my prior answer.
Your prior answer was to obfuscate, and it's become very clear you're unwilling to answer very simple questions, because it's very clear what that weaponization group is all about, and that is using the awesome powers of the Department of Justice to go after the president's enemies. I yield back, Mr. Chairman.
There is a moment in every congressional hearing when the mask slips, not because someone says the wrong thing, but because someone refuses to say anything at all. What you just watched was one of those moments, and it deserves a serious, honest examination rather than partisan celebration from either side of the aisle. A sitting United States Senator asked a nominee a question that any first-year law student could answer in under 3 seconds. Do members of the Weaponization Working Group at the Department of Justice have to abide by the Justice Department manual? Yes or no? That is not a trick question. That is not a complex legal puzzle requiring careful deliberation. Every employee of a federal agency operates under the agency's established guidelines. The answer is so obvious that a high school civics student could provide it without hesitation. And yet, Colin McDonald, the nominee to lead the Fraud Enforcement Division, could not bring himself to say yes. 9 times, 9 separate attempts by the senator to extract a one-syllable answer, 9 elaborate non-responses designed to sound like engagement while delivering absolutely nothing. Now here's where I want to be precise, because precision matters in a conversation like this one. There are 2 separate questions worth examining here. The first is what the senator was actually trying to accomplish. The second is what the witness's refusal to answer actually reveals. On the first question, the senator was clearly building toward an argument that the Weaponization Working Group operated outside established Justice Department guidelines while investigating the previous administration's use of that same department. The implication being that the investigators themselves may have violated the rules they were tasked with enforcing. That is a legitimate oversight concern. Congressional oversight of executive branch agencies is not a partisan activity. It is a constitutional function, and senators on both sides of the aisle have both the right and the obligation to press nominees on these questions. But here is what made this exchange remarkable. A nominee who was completely innocent of any wrongdoing would have answered that question immediately and without hesitation. Yes, every Department of Justice employee operates under the Justice Manual. That answer costs nothing and closes the line of questioning immediately. The fact that McDonald refused to give that answer for 9 consecutive attempts is not a sign of legal caution. It is a sign that the answer, if given honestly, leads somewhere he does not want to go. That is the unmistakable logic of the moment. Now let's talk about what the Fraud Enforcement Division actually does and why this particular nomination carries enormous consequences regardless of which party you affiliate with. The Fraud Enforcement Division exists to investigate and prosecute schemes that misuse federal funds. We're talking about federal grant fraud, government contract fraud, and the complex financial arrangements that develop between government funding streams and the organizations that receive them. This is not abstract policy discussion. This is about billions of dollars of taxpayer money that moves through a system where accountability has historically been inconsistent at best. The Weaponization Working Group that McDonald was connected to was specifically tasked with examining how the previous administration used the Justice Department apparatus against political opponents. That is also a legitimate function. Every American, regardless of party affiliation, should want a Justice Department that is not being deployed as a political weapon. The entire credibility of federal law enforcement depends on that principle. Where things get complicated is when you combine those 2 areas, weaponization oversight and fraud enforcement, in the same conversation about the same nominee, because what emerges from that combination is a picture of an agency that is being asked to look simultaneously at how government power was abused and at how government money may have been misused. Those 2 investigations, if pursued aggressively and impartially, have the potential to be genuinely disruptive to the established Washington ecosystem. That ecosystem, to be completely honest with the people watching this, operates across party lines. There are members of both parties who have found creative ways to benefit from the flow of federal dollars through organizations, advocacy groups, and contractors who in turn support their political interests. This is not a new phenomenon, and it is not exclusive to one ideology. What changes from administration to administration is not the existence of the system, but who benefits most from it at any given moment. The senator's line of questioning was pointed directly at that nerve, not because the questions themselves were devastating, but because the refusal to answer them was. When you watch a nominee refuse 9 times to confirm that his working group operated under basic ethical guidelines, you are watching someone protect information. The question is what that information is and who it implicates. The chairman's refusal to assist a senator in obtaining an answer is equally telling. A committee chairman who refuses to help a colleague obtain a basic factual answer from a nominee is not presiding over a hearing. He is running interference. That is not how oversight is supposed to function. What every American voter should take from this exchange is not a partisan conclusion about which side is right. What you should take from it is a simple and powerful principle. When someone refuses to answer a direct question in a public hearing, they are telling you something. They may not be saying it in words, but they are communicating it clearly through their behavior. Evasion is data. Refusal to answer is an answer. Silence in the face of a simple factual question is almost never innocent. The Fraud Enforcement Division, properly led and aggressively staffed, has the potential to follow money trails that no one in comfortable Washington circles wants followed. That makes the leadership of that division consequential in a way that far exceeds the typical agency appointment. It also makes a confirmation hearing for its leader a battleground where the stakes are much higher than they appear on the surface. That is what you were watching in that room, not a routine Senate hearing, not a standard back and forth between politicians performing for cameras. You were watching a fight over whether accountability will actually be allowed to function in the federal government. The nominee's silence told you where he stands. The chairman's refusal to intervene told you where he stands. And the senator's persistence through 9 consecutive non-answers told you that at least someone in that room understood what the exchange was really about. Whether the Fraud Enforcement Division ultimately becomes a genuine accountability mechanism or another captured institution that protects the powerful from the consequences that ordinary Americans face every day will depend on decisions made in rooms like that one. The people who make those decisions work for you, and moments like this one are exactly why paying attention matters.